chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam tirayet nashyaprayeshu abhatreshu nityam bhagavata sevayam bhagavaten uttamasloken bhaktir bhavati nashtike shrunvatam swakata krishnaha punyashavana kirtanaha hridyantasto hyabhadrani vidunoti suvritsata. So today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 10, Text 17. Sita tapatram jagraha muktadhama vibhushitam ratnadandam gudakesha priya priya tamasyaha. Sita tapatram jagraha muktadhama vibhushitam ratnadandam gudakesha priya priya tamasyaha. Sita tapatram jagraha muktadhama vibhushitam ratnadandam gudakesha priya priya tamasyaha. Devotees.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
Sitat patram jagraha muktadama vibhushitam ratnadandam gudakesha priyaha priyatamasyaha.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Sitatapatram jagraha muktadama vibhushitam ratnadandam gudakeshaha priyaha priyatamasyaha. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Sitatapatram jagraha muktadama vibhushitam ratnadandam gudakeshaha priyaha priyatamasyaha.
Hare Krishna. Sitata patram jagraha muktadama vibhushitam padnadanda gudakesha priya priya tasmasyaha.
Hare Krishna. Shitatapatram jagraha muktadama vibhushitam ratnadandam gudakeshaha priyaha priyatamasyaha.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Sitatapatram jagraha muktadhama vibhushitam ratnadandam gudakesha priya priyatmasya. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Sitatapatram jagraha muktadama vibhushitam ratnadandam gunakeshaha priya priyatamasyaha.
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes.
Sitatapatam jagraha muktadama vibhushitam ratnadandam gudakeshaha priya priyatamasyaha. Hare Krishna, thank you.
Thank you. Okay. So we can go for synonyms. Sita atapatram, soothing umbrella. Jagraha, took up. Muktadhama, decorated with the laces and pearls. Vibhushitam, embroidered. Ratnadandam, with a handle of jewels. Gudakeshaha, Arjuna, the expert warrior, or one who has conquered sleep. Priyaha, most beloved. Priyatamasya, of the most beloved. Ha, so he did. Translation and purport given by His Divine Grace Abhay Charan Arvind Dasi Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Jai.
At that time, Arjuna, the great warrior and conqueror of sleep, who is the intimate friend of the most beloved Supreme Lord, took up an umbrella which had a handle of jewels and was embroidered with lace and pearls. Purport. Gold, jewels, pearls, and valuable stones were used in the luxurious royal ceremonies. They are all nature's gift and are produced by the hills, oceans, etc. by the order of the Lord. When a man does not waste his valuable time in producing unwanted things in the name of necessities. By so-called development of industrial enterprises, they are now using pots of kutta percha instead of metals like gold, silver, brass, and copper. They are using margarine instead of purified butter, and 1/4 of the city population has no shelter. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Sakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manovishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamakyam Tadadi Swapadantikam Vancha Kalpatarupesha Kripa Sindhupya Yevacha Paditana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishnaya Bhutale Srimade Bhaktivedanta Swami Namini Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshadharine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vashadi Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय मुखम करदि वाचालं पंगुं लंघायतेग्रं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दिनधारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्री चैतन्येश्वरं हरि ओम तत्सत् Hare Krishna. So translation. At that time, Arjuna, the great warrior and conqueror of sleep, who is the intimate friend of the most beloved Supreme Lord, took up an umbrella which had a handle of jewels and was embroidered with lace and pearls. So I need a co-host permission, so I want to share some presentations also today.
So you should be co-host now.
Okay. Okay, yeah, thank you. So we are seeing here departure of Krishna from Hastinapur to Dwaraka. So Krishna is actually after the war, Kurukshetra war is over, and now after pacifying his sister Subhadra and also all of the Pandavas because they were in the trauma of the war. So just to pacify them, so Lord Krishna was staying with all of them, and now this is a time he have to go back to Dwaraka. So, and that's the reason that Krishna now he's leaving the Dwaraka, and everyone is actually so much in separation. So all the Vasis like Hastinapur, and they were in so much separation, and the Pandavas and everyone is in so much in separation. So Arjuna here as a Pandava, like he is always with the Lord, and he is now holding an umbrella which had a handle of jewels, which is embroidered with the lace and pearls. So he is holding that umbrella because he is an intimate friend of Krishna. So he definitely doesn't want Krishna to get hurt, or he always in the mood of protection. So this is the beauty of love of the devotees. So generally, like Lord protects the devotees, and we always pray to the Lord for our protection, and we always pray to Lord Nrsimhadev also for protection. But devotees are so in the mood of love, so much of love, so they always think about the protection of Lord. That's a beauty. And even in Mayapur Nrsimhadev also, if you see, he wear a chain, locket, in that it is actually protection. So that is mentioned that one time I heard from one of the devotee, they were telling that Pankajangiri Prabhu was telling that is wear for Nrsimhadev. You can see in the picture of Nrsimhadev. So that was wear to protect Nrsimhadev. So that's a beauty of the love of devotees towards Krishna. And there was always a competition between the devotees and Lord, who is actually showering more love. So that's what here we can see. Arjuna is, as always, as an intimate friend. He is holding an umbrella to protect Krishna from the hot sun. And in the purport, Prabhupada, very important points that he's discussing. So first thing is telling about all the gold, jewels, pearls, and valuable stones were used in the luxurious royal ceremonies. So that's what here we can see. Just the umbrella, it was made of jewels, and which is embroidered with the lace and pearls. And because why they used so much royal things? Because it was provided to them by the Lord order. So nature was giving everything, whatever they want. Because the main point Prabhupada is saying here, because when man does not waste his valuable time in producing unwanted things in the name of necessities, when a man does not waste time in unnecessarily spending time in the things which is not related to Krishna, so then Lord is very pleased. When the Lord is pleased, automatically all the demigods will be pleased, and because of all the demigods is pleased, so they automatically get whatever they require for their sustainment, and not only just for the basic sustainment, but they get so much of opulence, the gold, jewels, like everything. Like earlier days, if we heard so many pastimes, we can see the pastimes like the palace is made of pearls and everything. The description, we can see that how much opulent they live the life. And we think that modern life is so much we are so much advanced, but actually to see that we are actually poor now when compared to the previous civilization. So how much people are so much in opulence. So, but now why we become poor? Why we are, Prabhupada also give the example that by so-called development of industrial enterprises, they are now using pots of gutta parcha instead of metals like gold, silver, brass, and copper. So earlier days, they used everything as gold, silver. So the pots will be silver, gold. But now it is just made up of some material which is a very cheap price. And also nowadays we are not getting the purified butter. That's why we are using margarine. So basically we are not advanced. We actually become poor compared to the previous civilization. And the main reason why what Prabhupada is saying, that because the man does not, man is actually not using his time valuably. So in Prithu Maharaj pastime also, if we see that how the land does not give anything, like the people become so much poor and poverty, they were suffering of poverty. And when they went and complained to Prithu Maharaj, and Prithu Maharaj became so much angry, and then he was chasing Mother Earth to kill, like, why you are not giving the grains? Like, we did sacrifice whatever you want, we did sacrifice, but still why you are not giving whatever the requirement for us? Why you are not growing the grains? So and then Mother Earth finally she told, my Lord, like, it is because the people are not actually the sacrifice what we are doing, they are doing for their sense enjoyment. They are not doing for the pleasing Lord Krishna. So everyone started thinking about them only. That's why it is the earth become so much burden of these kind of people, and that's why I cannot give. So how much like I can able to supply, because I become so much burden because of these type of people. So and then after that, like so the pastime goes like, and then because of she pleased with Prithu Maharaj, and then she supplied everything. So the main thing is that if we are not following the order of the Lord, so that is the reason that we are suffering. If you are suffering from poverty, everything, then it is the reason is we are not following the order of spiritual, order of Lord Krishna. So I will just share a presentation. So I just referred, so different Bhagavatam verses, what they are telling about this unwanted necessities and how people are wasting their time. So hope everyone can see my screen, right?
Yes, Mataji.
So here, Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 5, Text 1, it talks about like Lord Rishabh Dev is telling his sons, so my dear boys, of all the living entities who have accepted the material bodies in this world, one who has been awarded this human form should not work hard day and night simply for sense gratification, which is available even for dogs and hogs that eat stool. One should engage in penance and austerity to attain the divine position of devotional service. By such activity, one's heart is purified, and when one attains this position, he attains eternal blissful life, which is transcendental to material happiness and which continues forever. So here we can see how people are actually wasting time. So Prabhupada writes in the purport, like, what we are doing, just if we think how we are spending our time in a day. So we are waking up early and we are cooking and we are rushing to the local train to catch the local train to go for job. And we are traveling for 2 hours, 3 hours to go to the place where we are working. And then there we are working 9 hours or 12 hours. And after that we come back and again we travel for so many hours. And then finally what we are doing? So we are just wasting our time in just little bit enjoyment of little sex and just spending with a family. So that's what yan maitunadi grahamedi sukham hi tucham. So the Rishabdev is saying tucham, it is very, very small happiness, very little happiness, that what we are whole day we are working like ash, and finally just for that small happiness we are wasting our whole life. So that is not the purpose of human form. So if we waste our life like that, then there is no difference between the cats and dogs, because even cats and dogs are also enjoying the same thing. So they are also producing children and they are also eating, sleeping, everything is same. Then what is the difference that human life is making? Right. So that's what Rishabh is saying, that we should not waste our time day and night like this just for some simple sense gratification. So another thing, because of this sense gratification, so what we are doing is ugra karma. So karma is generally basically if we do our duty. It's not that Bhagavatam is saying that we should not work. We have to work. We have to maintain our family, everything, but we should not do ugra karma. So karma is normal as a duty we can do. But when we do ugra karma, that means over endeavoring, overdoing anything. So because we want more, we want so many things, like I want a big car and I want a big home and I want a family status and I have to maintain the social status. So many things we are looking after, and that's why we are increasing. We want to increase our positions, and for getting that position, I have to work hard. It is not so easy to get everything. So I have to work hard day and night, then only I can get all those things. But ultimately what we are doing, the same thing: eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. Right? So 4 things only we are doing. Ultimately, whatever we work and everything, earning money, we are trying to do these 4 things. And the same 4 things that even cats and dogs are also getting. Right? So then what is the use just for this small pleasure? Why do we want to work that hard? So we have to just think. And Isha Upanishad also, it talks about the same thing, that we should not over endeavor for so many things, like Isha Vashyam idam sarvam yat kincha jagatyam jagat tena tyaktena bunchita ma grada kashya sviddanam. So what it says, we should accept only necessary for himself, which are set aside as his quota. Whatever it is assigned as a quota for me, I just have to work. So I should not overwork, like morning shift, afternoon shift, night shift. So 2 shifts we work so that I can earn a lot of money, right? So we should not work in that so much unwanted necessities. Like we are creating that necessity there. We are making that as a necessary. So necessary means like we cannot live without that. Right. So that is what necessities means. But we are unwanted. We are creating unwanted necessities. So there are so many examples that we can discuss. So before we go there, so basically this unwanted necessities, how we create it is also depends on what mode we are predominantly impacted. So there are 3 types of modes, everyone know, like mode of goodness, mode of passion, and mode of ignorance. So based on these 3 modes only, like our unwanted necessities also will come. So now I just request everyone to just you can unmute and say, or you can text if a person in mode of ignorance, so what he will think, it is very much necessity, I cannot live without that. Any example that you can think? If a person is mode of ignorance. Yes, Ramshankar.
So if the person is in mode of ignorance, so he will be always, like whatever things he is too much attached to, he will think like that is his first priority. No
Yes,
matter,
so this is I and mine, right? So this is my belongings, and then I want to do so much thing for them. Yes.
Yeah.
Because of ignorance. Yes. Yes, Kalpesh, Sonia Matri.
Mode of ignorance is also sleep. So
Yes. Yes.
I mean, that's how.
Yeah, oversleeping. Oversleeping. By Prahlad Maharaj says, actually, in 100 years of our life, 50 years, we will just spend in our sleeping only. It gone in sleeping, because 8 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours, if we sleep, the whole half in 24 hours, most of the time goes in sleeping only, right? So oversleeping. Oversleeping is also one of the mode of ignorance, and people get so much attached in sleeping. So, and they waste their life in that way. Yes, and they think that is necessary. So because they work so hard and they think that that is necessary for my body to rest. But why we want to that much work hard unnecessarily, right? Yes, very good. Any other points?
Material enjoyment.
Yeah, material enjoyment. So that is of course there. So that's why they just spend a lot of time in earning money so that they can enjoy. Yes.
And being selfish, not compassionate.
Being selfish. Yes. They are very much selfish to think always about themselves. Yeah, good. So I'm looking for unwanted necessities. So these type of people, so they think this is what I really want. I cannot live without that. That kind of thing, what you can think about it.
I think attachment, we are so entangled in relationships.
Relationships, yes. As Ramshyam Prabhu said, I and mine. Yes. Ramshyam Prabhu, you have.
Mataji, you just before some time quoted, that's the main thing. I mean, eating, meditating, defending. So ahar nidra vai mathnam cha saman yetat pasivi narnara dharma hi adhika visasa dharma vina pasahi samana. So means until we get that Krishna, like topmost devotional service, loving devotional service to Krishna.
Yeah.
So we are like a pasu, means
yeah, we are as an animal. So we are considered like an animal only. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So I was just looking that, for example, I will tell for a mode of ignorant people, so they will be attached to drugs, right? Alcohol. So people will be so much attached to alcohol. They think I cannot live without alcohol, right? So I cannot live without eating non-veg. I cannot live without watching TV, right? So watching all these things are all actually in mode of ignorance, which is not related to Krishna. And if you are hours and hours, if we spend in the TV, watching different serials and watching so much news and so many things, if we see, then our time will just go on, right? Yes, Mataji.
I have one point, because if you're saying that too much watching TV, too much watching this thing, but children are doing from childhood, the parents are stopping that. Why? So that is a question for me too.
So we are doing this from childhood. So why parents are not stopping?
Yeah, watch their cell phone, and then only you can eat nicely. If he's
because they are also not educated in the spiritual process. That's why, because they don't understand the importance of
from the small plant. You have to, if you don't correct it,
yes,
then it goes big tree. You cannot do anything. You cannot bend it anyway.
Yeah, but so it is all because of ignorance. The reason is mainly because of ignorance of spiritual life. So when we come to know about the value of this human form, then we value the time. Okay, this time at least I can utilize in studying Bhagavatam. I can utilize this in chanting of the holy name, right? Why do I want to waste? Like, what is going to happen? Like, people just see some political parties discussing that their one party will say, oh, that party is not good and this party is not good. They will fight with each other, and the third person will see that what is the benefit that the person who is seeing is going to get. So unnecessary, it's a waste of time, right? And we are not going to change the world by watching that. If we are able to go and speak to those politicians, you should not be like this. So unless we are not doing that, then it is basically waste of time, right? So that's what, like, people in mode of ignorance is so much addicted to these unnecessary things, watching or alcohol or drugs, and they think that without that I cannot live. The mobile phone, even that also, right? Nowadays, like, without mobile phone we become mad. So we cannot live without phone. That's how we unnecessarily created that addiction, that I want this, without that I cannot live. And people who are in mode of passion, so their addiction is, they want to make money. That is their only goal, how they can make money. That's what they're always thinking. And also some people, they go to gym to pump their muscles, right? So like six pack, and I don't know, they're different packs, like the people say. So they go to gym and do all those things. So why? It is basically, it's in the mode of passion. They just want to build up their body. So for a health wise, of course we have to do some exercise, but it is not that required to pump our muscles like that. So these are all in the mode of passion, unwanted necessities. So these are all unwanted necessities. And then possessions, so much possessions, like I want this high-end car, high-end latest iPhone. So many things, like we are creating ourselves that, okay, this is all necessary for me. So these are all we created. It's not actually necessary, right? So people who are without all these things, people lived so much happily and very peacefully, and they don't have any disease. And now we are thinking that we are advanced and we have dishwasher and so many things, we don't have to do it anything, and we are creating so much disease also because of that, because we are not doing much. Everything machines are doing. Now we are just sitting and watching something. So that's how our body will go.
Long time ago in India, a doctor told me, you know what, you don't need to go to any gym or anything. Sweep your house every day and do all the cleanings and every day, and that is enough exercise for you. Do that.
Yes.
Bend
Yes.
and do everything, cleaning the house with wet cloth and everything. That is enough exercise. So we're spending money and going for exercise, but not
Yeah.
taking care of the house. And we are hiring somebody to clean the house.
Right. True.
So,
This is a true fact. That's what it is going on. So we think we are so much modern civilization now, but actually we are going poor by doing all these things, and we are unnecessarily creating those necessities, and we are becoming lazy, and we are creating so many health issues for us. So that's what it is happening. So this is all unwanted necessity. So we have to just think, what are the things in our life we are doing unwanted, like we are creating as a unwanted necessities. So we should have to come out of that. So now how we can escape from this addiction, right? So everyone has some addiction, like I want this, but how I can give up that attachment. So for that, let's see, Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 5 and Text 1. It talks about, okay, before that, this Canto 11, Chapter 12, Text 1 to 2, it talks about how we can give up that attachment. So anyone wants to read?
the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, my dear Uddhava, by associating with my pure devotees, one can destroy one's attachment for all objects of material sense gratification. Such purifying association brings me under the control of my devotee. One may perform the Ashtanga Yoga system, engage in philosophical analysis of the elements of material nature, practice non-violence and other ordinary principles of piety, chant the Vedic poem, Vedas, perform penances, take to the renounced order of life, execute sacrificial performances, and dig wells, plant trees, and perform other public welfare activities, give in charity, carry out severe vows, worship the demigods, chant confidential mantras, visit holy places, or accept major and minor disciplinary injunctions. But even by performing such activities, one does not bring me under his control.
Yeah,
Hare
thank you.
Krishna.
So here we can see how we have to give up that attachment of unwanted necessities by associating with pure devotees. So the Lord is saying, when we associate with the pure devotees, so then one can able to destroy one's attachment for the objects of material sense gratification. So that is very important. So so before that, we have to know like who is pure devotee, right? So first of all, we have to associate with pure devotees, means we have to know who is pure devotee. And Prabhupada says, like one time some of the person asked like Prabhupada, so in your movement, like how many pure devotees are there? So Prabhupada said, everyone is pure devotee. They may not be today, but ultimately they will become pure devotee because they have taken up the pure devotional service process. So we took that process. So ultimately one day we will become a pure devotee. So for now, like we have to understand. So Bhagavatam says, so who is a pure devotee? So there is a description about who is a pure devotee. So let's read this. Anyone else want to read?
The summary is that one has to, first of all, seek the association of pure devotees who not only are learned in the Vedanta, but are self-realized soul and unalloyed devotees of Lord Shri Krishna, the personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna.
So we can see here, pure devotees means not only they are learned in Vedanta. So, okay, so some people can say whole Bhagavad Gita shloka, whole Bhagavatam shloka, but are they self-realized? Are they unalloyed devotees of Lord Shri Krishna? So they never engage in any other activities other than completely thinking about Lord Krishna. So when I say that they never engage in other activities, so that means another material sense gratification activities. So we cannot say that, okay, the people who are working, so they cannot become a pure devotee. So not that point, but the how they keep their consciousness all the time. So that is what makes them a pure devotee or not. So we just not have to approach a person who is learned in Vedanta, but they should be unalloyed devotee of Krishna. And who else is other than Srila Prabhupada, right? So Srila Prabhupada is a pure devotee, and he gave us so many disciples of pure devotees, right? So all the disciples of Srila Prabhupada are so much pure, and we just have to take advantage of the association. And we are so fortunate. Kaivalya Prabhu is here. So these pure devotees, we just have to take advantage of associating with them. And and that's why, like Prabhupada and many senior devotees, they told that we should associate. So basically, like association means what? So we have to associate with the pure devotees means, so not just being with them and sitting with them, not that. So we have to hear from them. That is what real association is. So we should hear from Srila Prabhupada every day. So this, if we start doing these two things, one is we have to hear from Srila Prabhupada and then hear from your spiritual master. So if we start doing this one lecture every day from Srila Prabhupada, one lecture, and then one lecture from our spiritual master, so definitely that is guaranteed, like we can trust, they are all pure devotees. So when we hear from them, and of course after that we can hear from many devotees, so there is no restriction, but minimum criteria we should keep, that I really listen every day Prabhupada lecture one, and then because Prabhupada lecture that 20 minutes, 30 minutes maximum, so we can hear, and our spiritual master lecture. In this way, when we practice every day hearing, because that's a pure vibration, so that's why, like we can keep like Prabhupada Hare Krishna Mahamantra chanting, so that can go on in our home. So that actually purify the whole environment. So because they are not an ordinary person, they are pure devotees of Lord. And when we hear their vibration, just even though we don't understand. So like I remember like Pangajangri Prabhu and what is other Prabhu? Twin brothers, Pangajangiri Prabhu and
Jananivas Prabhu.
Jananivas Prabhu. Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. Jananivas Prabhu. So both of them, earlier days, like when they came to Mayapur, so that time, like they doesn't know the Bengali or anything, any language. So, but still they come and attend Bhagavatam class every day. Every day they just in front of the speaker, they will sit and listen. So one thing is Bhagavatam is pure. We just have to sit and listen, attentive listening. If we just do it, so even though we don't understand the whole concept, but still it purifies. So when Srila Prabhupada started initially, so many Westerners, they came for the class, but most of the people, they don't understand what Prabhupada is speaking, but still they sit. They hear that vibration, that just that vibration itself purifies. So that's the main point that I'm saying is like we have to hear from pure devotees. And also what we read just before, it says that we should not perform so many things we read, like we can do, like we can chant the Vedas, we can perform austerities, penances, and giving charity, and so many welfare activities we can engage, and we can go to so many holy dhams. But Krishna says, this will not attract me. This will not attract me. What attracts is serving the pure devotees. That's just the only thing that attracts. And at the same time, Prabhupada gives in that purport that it doesn't mean that, okay, we should not need to do austerities and penances, because austerities and penances is very much required for a human being. So for a human life, because cats and dogs, they will not do any austerity, right? So, but human being is supposed to do austerity. Otherwise, there is no difference between the cats and dogs and human life. So what kind of austerity every day a Vaishnava will do? So anyone? What kind of austerity a Vaishnava will do every day? We all do.
Waking up early, chanting
Yes.
16
Yes.
rounds.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. Waking up early, right? So waking up early is not so easy, but still we do that austerity because that pleases Krishna, right? So yes, thank you, Mataji. Anyone else? Anything else? What kind of austerities? What else we are doing? Not every day, but still we do. In a month, I can say in a month twice we do. What is that?
Ekadashi.
Ekadashi, yes. Ekadashi, fasting, right? So these things definitely we should not avoid. So because when it says that it austerity, penances, chanting mantras, and all those things are digging wells, so these are social welfare activities. So this will not attract me when the Lord says, so not just that alone attracts, right? Okay, the example we can see from Chaitanya Charitamrita. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, one time a devotee, he wants to see the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu dancing in ecstasy while chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So he wants to be part of it. So he requested, I think Srivas Thakur, if I'm not wrong. So please correct me if it is wrong. So he requested Srivas Thakur, and then Srivas Thakur said, oh, you are a very nice devotee. Definitely I will take you, but you can hide and you can watch. I'm not sure you can allowed in that to participate, but you can hide and watch. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was chanting, and then he stopped. Something is wrong here. So someone who should not be here, he is here. Who is that? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked, and then Srivas Thakur, he got afraid, and then he told Mahaprabhu that, Mahaprabhu, actually this person is so very pure devotee. He drinks only milk. Every day he drinks only milk. So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu becomes so much angry. You think just by drinking milk is the quality for attending this kirtan? Get him out. Right? So the point here is like we should not think that, oh, I will do so much austerity, I will just fast and I will not eat anything, so that will attract Krishna. No. So that's what the point here that in Bhagavatam says, these austerities alone will not attract. The mood, what we are doing, the devotion that how we are doing for Krishna, that's what attracts. In another point also, I heard like in one lecture, so one Maharaj and one devotee was just walking in the temple, and it is a day of Ekadashi, and Nirjal Ekadashi. Nirjal Ekadashi is going to come. So Nirjal Ekadashi. On that day, one devotee was eating samo, kinva, and all those things, prasadam. He was eating Ekadashi prasad. And then this devotee who was walking with Maharaj, and he told that Maharaj, see, today is Nirjal Ekadasi and he is eating kinva and sabudana, all those things he is eating. And he thought, okay, Maharaj will say, oh yeah, he should not do it. This is wrong. And he will prize the person who is with him. So, but Maharaj said, actually, he is a good person because he is fasting. He is actually feasting his stomach. But you are feasting your false ego. Because you think that you are fasting, but actually you're feasting in your ego that you are fasting. But only your stomach is fasting, but your ego is feasting. But his ego is good because he is accepting that I cannot do my fasting because of my health issue, so I have to take it. So that's okay. So, but if we just feast our ego, give so much of feast to our ego, that will not help in our spiritual progress. So the point is, austerity and penance is definitely important, and that if we do in the right attitude, so that will attract Krishna. And so we talked about this austerity and penance because this will help us to progress in our spiritual life. And we associate with the pure devotees. We talked about how to associate with pure devotees. And Prabhupada, so now Prabhupada lecture we can listen by associating, by hearing from him. And another way also Prabhupada gave us to associate with him. So he is telling in a lecture, so I'll share that. Yeah, so anyone please read.
I am therefore so much laboring hard that before my leaving this body, I may give you some books who you can enjoy after my death. So utilize it. Read every sloka nicely, try to understand the meaning, and discuss amongst yourselves. Nityam Bhagavata Shevaya. That is our mission. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mati. So Srila Prabhupada is saying other ways that how we can associate. So here the word mainly is, I may give you some books who you can enjoy. So he did not say it, you can enjoy with it. So the book is not just a material object. So book is who, that means a person. So it is none other than Srila Prabhupada is giving his association through his book. So that's what he is saying, utilize it. We have to read every shloka nicely and understand the meaning and discuss among yourself. So that is very, very important point, that we should discuss among ourselves. So if we are not discussing it, so if you are doing passive listening, so most of the time, morning Bhagavatam lecture will be a passive listening, right? So I try, that's what I wanted to try today, to make it little interaction. So but most of the time, if you see, it will be passive listening only. So in passive listening, we cannot get the real medicine, that Bhagavatam, it will work so amazingly if we do with a rapt attention. Because now one person is speaking, and we cannot be guaranteed that everyone is in full attention, right? So sometime like our mind will be thinking, okay, next it's already time, like what is next, I have to cook, or I have to go to office, and I have to do this, that. So many things will be running in our mind, so our attention may not be full. So that's why we have to do a small group discussion, Ishta Goshti. So that's what it is mentioned, that we should do a small group discussion, Sadhu Sangha. We come together and read and discuss, share what is my realization, what is your realization. So that is what going to help us a lot in progressing in our spiritual life. So let's read one more quote from Srimad Bhagavatam. Yes, anyone else?
Hare Krishna.
Yes.
One should hear with rapt attention from the real person, and then he can at once realize the presence of Lord Krishna in every page. The secret of knowing Bhagavatam is mentioned here. No one can give rapt attention who is not pure in mind. No one can be pure in mind who is not pure in action. No one can be pure in action who is not pure in eating, sleeping, hearing, and mating. But somehow or other, if someone hears with rapt attention from the right person at the very beginning, one can assuredly see Lord Krishna in person in the pages of Bhagavatam.
Yeah, thank you, Mati. So we can see here, one should hear with rapt attention from the real person. Then he can at once realize the presence of Krishna in every page of Bhagavatam. So Bhagavatam is not a literary, just a literature, ordinary literature, right? So if we give our rapt attention in studying Srimad Bhagavatam, then we can literally see, realize Krishna's presence in Bhagavatam. And we have to hear from the right person. So how that attention will come? If our mind is not pure, then we cannot focus. So because our mind will be thinking so many things, like if we spend our time, most of the time, unwanted necessities, that thinking about something, or how to acquire money, or watching some news and watching some serials, like if we engage all our time in these unwanted necessities, then our mind will be polluted and our mind will be thinking about those things only. Right? So then how our mind will be pure? If our mind is not pure, then we cannot give rapt attention. And how we can make our mind pure? So we have to make our action pure. So what we do every day, that's what determine like what my mind is thinking, right? So the action should be pure. So when my action is pure, then my mind will become pure, and my mind is pure, then my attention will be increasing. So that's why then once we can able to make our mind pure, then we can easily understand or realize the presence of Krishna in every page of Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is our last slide for today. So anyone please read. This is from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11, Chapter 3, Text 31.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, ma'am.
The devotees of the Lord constantly discuss the glories of the personality of Godhead among themselves. Thus, they constantly remember the Lord and remind one another of his qualities and pastimes. In this way, by their devotion to the principles of Bhakti Yoga, the devotees please the personality of Godhead, who takes away from them everything inauspicious. Being purified of all impediments, the devotees awaken to pure love of Godhead, and thus, even within this world, their spiritualized bodies exhibit symptoms of transcendental ecstasy, such as the standing of the bodily hairs on end. Krishna is Aga, Uga, Haram, Harim. He takes away the sinful reactions of his devotees, who are thus entitled to experience the inconceivable bliss of the kingdom of God, even while remaining in this world.
Yeah, thank you, Matsi. So here we can see that the devotees of the Lord constantly discuss the glories among themselves. So that's how we have to spend our time. Like constantly we should discuss, like whenever we get some time. So immediately like we get together and constantly discuss the glories. Like when we are meeting in the temple, like we should not gossip. Okay, what happened? Like, you know, that person is doing this, person is. We should not spend time in gossiping. When the devotees come together, so the association means discuss about Krishna. So that's what association. It's not that, okay, I'm doing association with the devotee, so we both went to watch the movie. So we are doing association. That's not the real association. So real association means like we should actually discuss among ourselves about the glories of the Lord. When we do that, what happens? Krishna take away everything inauspicious from us. So the main inauspicious is we are looking for unwanted necessities. unwanted material desires. We have lot of things. So if we want to get out of it, that's how we started this discussion, right? I want to get out of this attitude, or develop unnecessary, we are developing unnecessary necessities, so I want to come out of it. So how we can come out of it? So here Krishna says, when we discuss the glories of him with the devotees, so hear from pure devotees, discuss among the devotees, so then we can get purified. Krishna will take away all the sinful reaction from us, and we also take away all the inauspicious from us. So in that way we can able to purify ourselves, and then we can go back to Krishna. So with this I conclude for today. Thank you so much for your attention. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, पतित पावन श्री गुरु महाराज की जय. Thank you so much. Any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, ma'am.
A very nice class, very, very nice. We have to apply in our lives everything. What I am really realizing that sometimes we get too attached to our work, so much attached that we forget about Krishna. All day long sometimes goes by. So we should always just take pause and think about Krishna while doing work. Then our, I think all the impurities will go away and we become pure. And discussing with the devotees, it is going to be helpful, very helpful, about remembering Krishna during our work when we are too attached. Thank you very much for your class. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Yes, so we just have to bring Krishna in our life all the time. So actually we should not see as two lives, like that's a problem in our devotees life. It's, we always see this is my material life, this is my spiritual life. So if we discriminate like that, so then we think, oh, I'm not able to think about Krishna when I was doing, or when I'm working, right? So we should not discriminate that material life and spiritual life. Basically whatever we are doing, do in a consciousness, I'm doing this for Krishna. So we are working for Krishna because we are earning money and we are engaging that money in the service of Krishna, right? Obviously we are getting food for cooking and we are offering that to Krishna, and then we are giving some donation to the temple. So somehow I'm engaging that money which I am working so for Krishna. So in that activity, in that way, like all my activities basically I'm doing for Krishna. So in that way we just have to keep our focus on Krishna, that I'm doing this for Krishna. If something goes bad, then it is also by the will of Krishna it is happening. Something goes good, it is also by the blessings of Krishna. So in that way, we just have to move on by remembering Krishna in our life. Yeah. Thank you so much, Mataji, for sharing your relaxation. Yes, Kalpesh, bro.
Hare Krishna. So first of all, I want to acknowledge on this call very well presented lecture, and particularly with because many temperaments are that way, that it is very difficult to keep that concentration for an hour-long conversation. I mean, and I really enjoyed your technique here to engage people on this, and that participation was really helpful to absorb more content than usually I see it from my end. So that for that, thank you very much, and really good work on presenting all this. But I have a question based on just you said about the pure devotees, and we have a very good example of Srila Prabhupada ji. So that's true. But we are doing our daily duties. I mean, I have to say that we are working as a professionals. So knowing that 9 hours of that duty, right, and remaining whatever after 24 hours minus sleep, whatever the hours we get. So from the point when I wake up from my bed and the point till the point when I go to my bed. So whatever the hours I have, what can you share some daily habits, behavior, like a pure devotee can practice? Like, for example, I know through several conversation now that the pure devotee would like to do 16 chants of that's Hare Krishna thing, right? So if we do it very nicely, associating, remembering the 10th verse of Bhagavad Gita, that it's about not 10th, sorry, Anashray Bhakti or something. I forgot. I have taken in my notes. So we had to see that love. We had to put in Hare Rama, Hare Krishna. We had to put love every time in that mantra, and we have to concentrate on that fact. So that is one of the things. But beyond that, what you said in this lecture, that you have to hear one lecture every day from your spiritual master, and then this. So those are the two couple of things. So can you, I mean, from your view, do you know any pure devotees who do like working 8 to 9 hours, and then that is also brain work over there, and then after this, how can we make that consciousness and with habits and trying to improve ourselves? Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Very wonderful question. This is a very practical question as well. So actually, first is Prabhupada says 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So that is itself is a big armor for us, because we are going out for working. So many things we have to go out. So when we start our day with our japa, so chanting 16 rounds every day, and this is not, I'm saying like people who are sitting just in home, but people who are working and who are not just working, so who are doing a lot of business, or I can say like who are working as a temple president, but also they are working in a material job also. They are working as a temple president. And so you can think that how much responsibility they will have. So not just they have a family responsibility, they have a job responsibility, they have a temple responsibility. So many things are going on, but still they maintain. So they wake up early in the morning. That's the first thing. So they wake up, because waking up early in the morning, which will save a lot of time in our life, right? So we just have to wake up early in the morning and finish our 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, good quality rounds. Because when we do that, then that will actually protect us, because when we go out, Maya will always try to catch us in a different ways, and we get attracted in the material enjoyment. So that's why we just have to protect ourselves by chanting 16 rounds in the morning. And then and after that, you can have like simple deity worship, like if you have some pictures or deities, or just you can show some incense sticks and flowers and some lamps. And then of course Prabhu's cooking is not there, but so if for Mataji's means they have to cook and then they have to go for job. So while cooking, or they can think about Krishna, they can just play Hare Krishna Kirtan and they can think about Krishna, or they can play a lecture and then they can hear that lecture and cook. So the consciousness will be always in Krishna, and then offer, and then they go for job. So when we are going for job, like I know like Adigadadhar Prabhu, like most of you know. So he is a doctor. So he is a doctor, and he is actually, he said one time, like when he was traveling, so what he do, whenever signal comes, so he will not miss that, even that small opportunity. He will, whenever the red signal comes, he stops, and then he will just read one page of something. He will always have some Prabhupada books. So he read one page, or he will chant. So in that way, like devotees are very, very conscious that they do not waste the time when they are stopping in the signal. So, and then in the work also, whatever that they are doing it, so they just do in the consciousness, I am doing this as my duty. As because we have a two duty. As a gross body, we have a duty of our body, that as a parent or a responsible person, so we have a duty. And then our swadharma is actually serving the Lord. So these two duties we have. So, and both duties is not different. So because we have to live in this world, we have to perform that duty as well. So to maintain our family and to keep our body and soul together. So in that way, definitely we have to do that in the mood of that I am doing this work also as Krishna's service, because my family is also a devotee. So if my family is a devotee, of course I'm taking care of Krishna's property, like Krishna's devotees, right? So I'm serving Krishna's devotees. So in that way mood, like we can work. And then once we are coming, so when you're driving, of course, like you can hear mantras, Hare Krishna mantras always, or you can hear lecture. So whatever keeps you focused, like don't get distracted by hearing lecture, you don't miss your driving. So but if that distracts, then you can hear Hare Krishna Mahamantra all the time, there is no restriction. And then once you come back home, so you keep, as a family, Prabhupada always says, as a family we should have to perform kirtan every day. I see personally many devotees are doing in their home every day. They sit together, like once they all come from office, they just refresh themselves, and then with kids they just sit in front of the Lord, they just do one Hare Krishna kirtan bhajan. So they do that, and after that, like they discuss some Krishna katha, or they read Bhagavatam together, like one verse, and discuss that. And then they had dinner, prasadam, and then they go to sleep. Even before going to sleep, so they read Krishna book to the kids. And in that mood, like when before going to bed also, we pray to Krishna that whatever the whole day you engage me in your service, so if something I do, something mistake or wrong, so we apologize for that. And also, like we can say that whatever that I did today, so something is wrong also, please forgive that, and I am offering that all the results to your lotus feet. So because this question I had, like just few days before, like Hari Parshad Prabhu, so he came to our congregation, and then so we had a discussion. So that time I was asking, like sometimes we do some welfare activities, right? So which may not directly related to Krishna. So what will do, like whether that bind me in this material world, so should I not do any welfare activity if it is not related to Krishna? For example, I'm giving some money for educating a child, right? That is not actually directly Krishna conscious activity. So in that case, there is Prabhu says like aropa siddha, we can do aropa siddha. That is, he told from Bhagavatam, if I remember well, it is Canto 11, chapter 2, 36 verse. So you can check, and I can also confirm that. So it is given that there, whatever Krishna I do in this whole day, even though it is not directly related to you, I offer that results unto your lotus feet. So in that way, we make all our activities in our day as a Krishna conscious activity. So in that way, our whole day will become a Krishna conscious day. So this is the way that I noticed from many devotees as well. So I hope this helps.
Yeah, thank you very much. So I got this notes. Let me recap. 16 round of japa with pure love and very good quality rounds. DT worship, then Mataji or Prabhuji doing cooking and hearing and preparing food in the consciousness of preparing a consciousness prasadam for Krishna. Offering prayer and going to the job, working for Krishna. Devotees are very conscious, working in duty as consciousness. Swadharma is serving our God. Work is for Krishna. Working family, because if you are working and you don't have to see as your spouse as a different spouse, you have to see that that is a Krishna property. So he or she would be a devotee and think in that consciousness, then perform like a family kirtan together every day. And you also mentioned, I forgot that hearing about the lecture during the cooking process. Then discuss Krishna Bhagavatam, read everyday Krishna books, and then by finally going to the bed, apologize for all the imperfection you went throughout the day, making mistakes, and then give the baggage kind of thing.
Yeah, whatever we do good also, we just offer that results to Krishna. And we thank, and if Krishna is pleased, he can give the next day opportunity.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mataji. It's a very nice class. And you gave lots of points to devotees for how to how to think of Krishna every day in all the services. Thank you very much. It's a nice class.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Anta Koti Vaishnav Vrindi ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Samaveta Gaura Bhakta Vrindi ki Jai.
Jai. Thank you so much, Mother Shyamala Gopika.
Thank
you. Very, very instructive as always, and we very much appreciate you bringing these points to our community, emphasizing them so we can grow in our spiritual lives. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. You make my day.
Yeah, really. So much good. So much
Thank
good.
you very much.
You have like Krishna's blessing.
Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai.
Thank you.
Everybody have a wonderful Krishna conscious day.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.